Shut up! You're an asshole.
Everyone tells me I am.
Jesus hates you. And Jason and Ronnie, you're just disgusting liars too. Right? Useless, worthless humans that just sit there and lie. That's the black magic.
All the final experiment is doing is validating whether or not we live on a globe or a flat Earth.
There's only two models.
I love. I destroyed. I humiliated.
How the sun goes to the one side.
I absolutely humiliated. To the other side of the Earth. I love it. I destroyed. I humiliated them. I absolutely humiliated awake souls by mocking the piss out of his stupid map.
Is there any sort of documentary or movie being made in association with the final experiment?
No.
Jason, would you like to give a little introduction or something?
Yeah. So, just a little backstory for anybody that tunes in to what's going on here. There's a conversation that's been going on about the shape of this reality, and on Facebook, there's a group that you seem to be active in.
Official flat Earth and round Earth discussion, something like that.
You challenged me. This is extremely interesting because I've been out here for years. Ronnie Harris of the Limitless channel and myself just sort of pummeled Sean Hufford and Red's Rhetoric in a debate on the Non Sequitur show. That was an actual debate where there was, a moderator. We had
when you debate, then $250 will then be sent to stop human trafficking. Number one. Number two, Jake will call you a shill.
We had time frames. There was a format to it. So, like what we're doing tonight, I know you have debate in the title. Yes, we're debating a topic, but it's not a true debate because it's not, moderated under certain guidelines and rules and stuff like that. So this is just going to be more of a free-for-all.
And then number four, everybody will laugh at you.
So you can see, two men, same tactics. Instead of addressing the evidence, they attack awake souls. They smear Jason and laugh off the stereographic biblical virtual reality model. That is not science. This is gatekeeping. Let's break it down.
All the final experiment is doing is validating whether or not we live on a globe or a flat Earth. There's only two models.
Mocking the piss out of his stupid map. I humiliated them. I absolutely humiliated awake souls. When you debate, then $250 will then be sent to stop human trafficking. Number 1. Number 2, Jake will call you a shill. Number 3, you will fail to present evidence showing how any of the 12 experiments that we did that Will has highlighted matches your derpy, stupid Pac-Man model. That's what's going to happen.
They erase the SBVR model entirely. Why? Because it works? Pretending reality is only globe versus flat is a false dichotomy designed to trap the conversation.
Is there any sort of documentary or movie being made in association with the final experiment?
No.
Hey everyone, we are live from Antarctica.
It's never been done before. I can't find any evidence of any flat earther going to Antarctica. And certainly can't find any evidence of a group of flat and globe earthers going together to try and prove each other wrong.
I'm here to do the science, to partner with people that want to partner.
That's the black magic.
Mocking the piss out of his stupid map.
How do you support heliocentrism biblically?
I've never said I support heliocentrism.
You're an asshole.
Everyone tells me I
Jesus
am.
hates you. And Jason and Ronnie, you're just disgusting liars too. Right? Useless, worthless humans that just sit there and lie.
When they can't debunk the data, they smear the people. That's not science. That's character assassination.
These questions are bizarre, by the way. This is by far the most bizarre interview I've done on the final experiment. So, congratulations.
Yahweh's daughter asks, how many working models of reality do you think there are?
1.
All right, you finally got that one right. You said 2 before. Are you aware?
No, I didn't. All the final experiment is doing is validating whether or not we live on a globe or a flat Earth.
There's only 2 models.
They smear the people. That's not science. That's character assassination. They refuse to even look at the evidence. Dismissing data without review isn't science, it's gaslighting.
I humiliated them. I absolutely humiliated awake souls.
You are like so crazy in the head that you think this is normal conversation. Next question.
How many books have you sold?
Next question.
No, you're supposedly a millionaire, and you say that you made the money off of selling books. How many books have you sold?
Jason, what does this matter?
Because we're trying to validate where your income comes from, because you've made certain claims.
Jason, you don't have to validate anything.
That's what we're doing right now.
No,
Yes.
it's not.
Yes.
No, all the final experiment is doing is validating whether or not we live on a globe or a flat Earth. There's only 2 models. The fact that you say it's our model.
All we did was use the same longitude and latitude the whole entire world uses. We didn't invent it. We applied it correctly on a fixed and stationary plane. And you know what? It works. This isn't about truth for them. It's about control. MC Toon and Will Duffy attack Jason of Awake Souls because the SBVR model cannot be debunked. It works.
YD, so then you will have the upper hand in the debate. Of course I will. Because the Earth is a globe, I always have the upper hand in the debate.
Recording in progress.
I cheat when I debate. I make the other side take the factually incorrect position. So before the debate starts, I won.
I cheat when I debate.
Shut up! You're an asshole.
Everyone tells me I
Jesus
am.
hates you. And Jason and Ronnie, you're just disgusting liars too.
They have a different model of the flat earth that they say is correct.
I didn't call your model anything. I didn't know about your model.
So the reason I definitely wanted to play that is Awake Souls is very religious. In one of your statements, you were talking about, in one of the videos, you were talking primarily about what flat earth has done to your or what flat earth can do to your congregation. If you don't mind, I'd like to listen to it real quick, and then we can kind of go through the question of that, because it does kind of play into the interview you have next.
Okay, great.
Next week, we will be providing irrefutable evidence that we live on a globe, and coming in 2024, we are working on something massive, which we think will finally put this flat earth idea to bed for good.
So the reason I definitely wanted to play that is Awake Souls is very religious channel, and I know that, I guess you would say that one of the worries, I guess it would be a normal worry for a pastor at a congregation, is another idea of how things work that doesn't agree with your own. I would say that Awakened Soul would probably be exactly what you were speaking about in that upload, if so to speak. It's two of them. They have a very different flat earth view than any of the flat earthers you're dealing with. When we're talking Jaron, Whitsitt, these guys definitely kind of off in the weeds about it. I think they believe it like a
Pac-Man Earth or something like that.
Where the sun kind of shoots across and then suddenly pops back up and shoots again. I know they do a lot of scripture talk. I'm not religious, so I can't give you the details of how they feel about those things, but I thought it would be at least a good warning on that. How much motivation do you have for this experiment? Is it a personal thing more, or is it something that actually does worry you with your church, your congregation, or religion in general?
Yeah, so as a pastor, I have a vested interest if there is something growing within the church. That doesn't mean just my church, it means within Christianity, to find out if it's true or not. I didn't call your model anything. I didn't know about your model.
Shut up, asshole!
Everyone tells me I
Jesus
am.
hates you. And Jason and Ronnie, you're just disgusting liars too. Right? Useless, worthless humans that just sit there and lie. That's the
Black magic.
MC Toon and Will Duffy attack Jason of Awake Souls because the SBVR model cannot be debunked. It works. It's biblical. It's precise. And it exposes their false dichotomy for what it is. Deception. That's why they mock. That's why they smear. And that's why we're not backing down.
And we are live for a very special Flat Earth Friday. How are you doing this evening, brother?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here tonight. Shout out to everybody in the chat, especially YD, the moderator with the most. Shout out to Jerry, for joining McToon's stream last week, and good on him for fighting for the truth, as well as YD just doing nothing but just fire for the truth in all the chats, just, you know, getting the stuff out there. And yeah, thank you, Jason, for preparing some content for this Friday. I think everybody's excited. We're rapidly approaching the equinox. So what's on your mind so far tonight?
Well, we've got a lot of content to go through. We've actually got confirmation. So we have this new season coming for everybody where we have supposedly 3 debates coming up, and we actually have agreed upon terms, and we have an agreed upon date for the first one to take place against Craig of Fight the Fat Earth and Michael what's his name?
We don't know his name. So I reached out, I've emailed him, and you know, it was in the video there that you just watched. He basically just told me to pound sand. He's going to continue to be anonymous and debate, not really given his real name.
Yeah, so we've got so much to go through because what we have is the email exchanges. We have the rules for the debate. We have when it's going to be taking place, all those things to go through and document. We are the team that documents everything because we're the ones that are fighting for the truth and actually want to show people what's taking place. So we have all that to go through. Plus, there was a live stream from McToon recently where he really treated Jerry, or Yahawashai's son, very poorly, and it's going to reflect very badly on McToon. You started to highlight some of it. We're going to be going through that and breaking that down in a deeper way. We're going to be pointing out that the channel that McToon is on, his name's not even highlighted when you type back McToon. So
it's Conspiracy Cats or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. So we already understand that he doesn't go by a real name. He's got a stage name. He's being quoted in the credits of these movies that are supposed to be coming out, the mockumentary for the final experiment, and so much more. There is a lot of people don't know that this took place, but I had a conversation with McToon 6 years ago, 6 years and 2 days. It's funny when we looked it up and started researching this, when it took place, it was actually the 6-year anniversary when we found it. And so there's a lot of history here. We were both going long before McToon, before Craig Fight the Fat Earth, and these guys were even on the scene. And so when we showed up, we paid attention, we documented it, we called them out. And so what there is there is a conspiracy for the true shape and nature of reality. There is a group of people that are working together in an organized effort to be able to support a false reality, and they've been doing it through the use of a false dichotomy. And we were able to recognize that May 26th of 2017 when we started standing on the first 4 fundamental truths. And so we recognized in fundamental truth number 2 that there was a group of people organized supporting a false model of a flat earth. And we've seen that all the way through this final false dichotomy PSYOP. And it continues now with the remnants of that. Duffy is gone. He's rode off into the sunset and quit. But we still have these characters that were around 6 years ago that we have to deal with. And so we're going to begin dealing with that in short order, right?
Yeah, well, so we were documenting everything, watching, you know, making videos, timestamps, making sure that everybody's seen everything that was going on. And I guess he wants me to call him Mike. I don't know if the robot polisher tried to dox him, said his name was Ryan. So this anonymous character here who's proclaiming to be the one who's proving that we live on a sphere came onto the scene, was given a channel by another YouTuber by the name of Conspiracy Cats, who had quite a few subscribers already. And so he walked in, and just about the time he showed up is when they were really trying to bury the flat earth movement into the weeds. And he was a part of that campaign, and he came onto the scene with nothing but mockery and jokes and symbolism and, you know, just tons of dismiss and malinformation and setting up flat earthers in these organization operations. You did the discussion with him and literally told him it was a discussion, and he went around saying that he beats you up. It's like two guys yelling at each other and Michael Toon walking away telling everybody that he beat you up. That's how ridiculous this guy is. And so we're going to be debating them. Is it the 30th of September here on next Tuesday? Is that correct?
Yeah, it will be the 30th at 6 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
On the Awake Souls channel, and we'll be going through all the details of how we got to that point and put it out in the public so that everybody can see that these are agreed upon terms. And there's no reneging at this point. It's all in.
So it's going to be great. I guess without further ado, why don't we get into some of the content? I know you got lots to share, and I don't want to, take up too much of everybody's time. We want to be on point. Thank you again for everyone that's tuning in. Please leave a comment or your thoughts on these matters.
So we are going to be beginning with one of the greatest and most fierce truth seekers in the realm, with their timestamp, because they trigger this McToon guy like nobody else. And guess who it is? None other than YD. All right, so we are going back to a timestamp set at 2/11/46 in this stream that was done by McToon 2 days ago. And want to point out here that she is fighting in absolute perfect form. She's doing the tag at Michael Toon Live. You really just showed your hand. You were asked to debate, but you brush it off with sarcasm. That will only last so long. So time will tell, right? The offer to debate has been offered. And if you notice here, she's tagged them. So now we're going to look over here and it's not highlighted. You see that? So here is YD at McToon Live. It's not highlighted. We'll go up here a little bit farther and we have at McToon from IC Spin, not highlighted, and from Peter Markley at McToon Live, not highlighted. So everybody knows now that when you tag somebody and you're the channel owner, that it will show through as highlighted. So let me scroll us out here a little bit to where I start seeing some highlighted things. Here's one. What do we have here? We have Nomad Universe. Remember, the Catholics are the source of the word universe and that whole concept. And so somebody says conspiracy tunes, and what's happening? It's highlighted. All right, so you can actually go through the chat here and see that McToon has his handle, which doesn't highlight. Conspiracy Tunes has his handle, which does highlight, which what that means is McToon's not actually the channel owner here. Right? That's significant, especially since we're going to be pointing out that Ron has asked for McToon for his true name, not his stage name. And because we want to have some sort of credibility, not just some fake actor walking around. Yeah. He doesn't even seem to own this channel, right?
Yeah, no, the whole thing just seems really odd. The guy that was flown to Antarctica to prove the Earth is a sphere, to finally put the disinformation flat Earth to bed, and he's going by some stage name. I mean, if his name is Mike Toon, show us that that's your name. Show us your ID. Cover your address. Don't dox yourself. But I mean, when you do a search for Michael Toon, you don't get any results. Therefore, that's not a real name. He's using a fake stage name. I mean, we're all adults here. We're not gamers with game tags. We're serious about the truth and about our information, and we want to be honest. Now, we don't think it's fair that one of the characters here involved in the debate is hiding his true name. We think that's ridiculous.
All right. So what we're going to do here is go through this this podcast that McToon had 17 hours ago. It's saying here that we're going to pick out some things. This is where Jerry joined. So Yahawah's daughter absolutely triggers McToon in an incredible way. He seems to actually have an extreme hatred for women and for women that are smarter than he is. And then Jerry stepped up to the plate. And so between the two of them, these are the interrupters, the people that are putting a monkey wrench into the McToon plan here. And so they started asking about debating us. And so this is the first time. There's 8 times that my name gets brought up, and so my name sort of gets used in conjunction with the both of us oftentimes. So we're just going to run through these different timestamps here and take a look at what was taking place. This is the guy that we're going to be we're going to be debating on September 30th. And so here's where he's talking about us, and we're going to respond. And so the ad hominem attacks are absolutely out of control. Let's listen to this guy.
Jerry says, "Are you afraid?" Look.
So he doesn't even read the whole thing. If you look here, he's highlighted it. Jerry Albert, you are afraid to debate. So there's actually been no reference to us yetsoever. He's only said you're afraid to debate, and here's how the response goes.
Look, Jerry Two Tooth. I've debated hundreds of flat earthers. I've demolished Jason already with his derpy Pac-Man map. So no, I'm not afraid of them. Jerry Two Teeth.
All right, so there's a very responsible debater for you, going straight at hominem attack and making claims that he's demolished me in debate before. So Ron's played some of these clips already in the intro video that we've started with, and that was great. Thank you, brother. But I just want to show everybody that this debate, that it wasn't a debate. All right, so look at this. 6 years ago, September 17th, 2019, it is both in title and in description, an impromptu, civil yet harsh conversation with Michael McToon, 8 p.m. Central.
Hello everyone, this is a quick notification asking you to join me live on the YouTube channel MC Toon at 8 p.m. Central for what has been billed a civil yet harsh conversation. We will be talking about the shape of the floor of this reality and a whole lot more.
All right, so the whole thing was billed as a civil yet harsh conversation because it obviously wasn't a debate. There was no rules. He had full control. I couldn't just screen share whenever I wanted to, and he could talk over me or mute me or do anything he wanted. And so I just wanted to point that out. Let's go back to this the next time. Let's go to 221, 29.
That Potato is going to keep lying about removing the 11 frames, of course. Icy Spin says you should confirm a date with Jason and Ronnie so we can get to the 3-part training series out of the boys.
All right, so we get referenced again, and this Icy Spin is obviously in some sort of inner circle because he already knows that we've put forth a 3-part debate series because we've done the math and we've actually looked at how long it takes to address each point. And if you're going to have 4 people in the debate, you can only cover so many topics before all of a sudden you're going 3 hours, you're going 4 hours, you're going 5 hours. So we're going to be showing you the format that we have set up, and even though we're trying to keep it to 2.5 hours, I know it's going to be at least 3 once it's put into practice. So this was a reference here. Let's go to the next one. We're at 309. So this is now when Jerry has joined and we get brought up again.
I really hope you're not going to back out of the debate with Ron and Jason. I really hope you're not going to do that.
I've had hundreds of debates. Why would I back out of any debate?
Okay, so you do know it's coming up on the, I think it's the...
So we set the 21st as the earliest that we were available. We started negotiating yesterday, and this is the reason why we're talking about it now is we actually have something that we've come to. So we'll be covering that. The next time we were brought up, this would be by Jerry. Let's check this out.
I'm on the phone.
I believe
I'm
you.
on the phone. I can't do it. But believe me,
I have.
When you debate Ron and Jason, I really hope they show you.
I already debated Jason. It did not go well for him.
When did you debate Jason?
A couple years ago. It did not go well
I
for him.
don't think you did.
A couple years ago, it was 6 years ago, and it wasn't a debate. And we're going to be going through that. So we're hitting a few timestamps from this recent thing from McToon, and then once we go through these, then we're going to be going back to that so-called debate that he smashed, me or the SBVR model, stereographic projections, and we're going to go through that. And he thinks that this was a big win for him, but why would we go through a big win for him? We're going to be showing all the ways that he was confronted, all the ways that he failed, and yeah, so he may have had like a few gotchas because it was 6 years ago and we weren't able to recenter a stereographic projection back then. So we've learned, we have new understanding, we're going to be sharing it all, and it was not a win for him whatsoever. So
because I saw your emails saying you've been trying.
So Jerry may not have known that this conversation took place 6 years ago. And then what happened was McToon brought it up and showed this, that we had this conversation 6 years ago, and Jerry didn't know about it, so it's not on him. And then we get out to the last time Jason and Ronnie get mentioned, and let's check this out.
See, I can state the things because I'm not scared, and I'm not a liar like you are. And Jason and Ronnie, you're just disgusting liars too. Right? Useless, worthless humans that just sit there and lie. Right? Have the courage to state what you will accept. Have the courage. You don't. You're scared.
I gotta stop here and go back and show what's taking place here. If you look at because this went up on the screen, Jerry made a comment here and he got deleted by Nomad Universe, and then immediately the wicked Pissaw timed him out for 30 seconds, and then the Emerson Biggins timed him out for 1.8 thousand seconds, and then CK timed him out for 10. This Nomad Universe now 10, and as we keep going here,
and I'm not a liar like you are. And Jason and Ronnie, you're just disgusting liars too. Right? Useless, worthless humans that just sit there and lie. Right? Have the courage to.
Sir Freemason Little Wolf timed him out for 600 seconds. The Gorn Captain 300 seconds.
State what you will accept. Have the courage. You don't. You're scared. You know, as soon as you say you will accept something for evidence of the globe, I will present it.
Prevent it.
So he will make it up no matter what. He guarantees it. And we know that. And so this is such a farce. He acts like there's a few things that we could show him that would prove that we're on a flat plane. All things that we already know are impossible. And so we could come up with a list of things. Will you accept this? What will you accept is this? He said that he's going to be able to accept being able to see, straight across a 10-mile lake without any sort of obstruction. And we know that that doesn't happen. So the whole thing's absolutely rigged. And so this was the times that we were brought up. Now I want to give Jerry some props on a few key things here while we got this up. And let's go ahead to 4 hours and 17 seconds.
Just to give a little bit more context, McToon offered an impossible observation, right? So he's cheating, right? From a 6-foot observer, you can't see 10 miles away. It's beyond your angular resolution. It's beyond the vanishing point. So it's ridiculous that Jerry couldn't come up with a non-reality to match his non-reality. But Jerry did hold his ground, and he continued to ask him for what he would accept. And then after he booted Jerry, he finally gave his non-reality measurement that he wants to see, and then came up with his he wants greater than 180-degree angles and these circular triangles and all this other crazy nonsense that we will be dealing with.
Absolutely. So this is props to Jerry in this section right here. His technique, the way he handled himself, the way he fought through was really good in my opinion. So let's go ahead and start playing this here, and then I'll point out the things about it that I see as good play.
The Earth is a globe. So
Bro,
this, I'm putting you in a corner.
A master, because you, every time, you throw it back at me.
Yes, it's your
That's
claim.
What you do every time.
It is your claim.
What will you accept as proof? What will you accept as proof?
Yep, 100%.
Bro, I keep telling you, you can't prove it's a globe. You can't prove it's moving.
Then
you
you
can't
should
prove anything.
Then you should not be scared.
Every time I give you a...
All right, so when he was saying, I give you props as being like a master debater, this is something that I recognized in McToon when I had the conversation with him, that he is insufferable, that no matter what you do, he will absolutely sell out 100% without any sort of moral repercussion in his mind, and he will just lie on the spot and make up anything and act like things that he was caught and called out on never happened. Then he turns it around, puts it on the other person, and just goes back into his toolbox trying to catch somebody in something that they're not prepared to answer. And especially when he's on his own platform and he has control, it's very difficult for a person to walk into that environment and just be bombarded with constant requests that you provide something that he knows is going to be outside of your ability to provide at that moment. So the fact that you were able to recognize and see the way he was trying to turn things back on you when you were trying to address him and to get him to answer questions, you'll be prepared for a guy like Nathan Oakley. These prepared professional debaters never answer questions and only turn them back on the person that's trying to ask a question of them. Right? So that was good work right there. And there's another interesting part that I want to point out, and that was your call to repentance of McToon. And I thought that was fire. I thought you got through that well. And so let's go ahead and cover your call to repentance of McToon. Come on, let's play.
Yeah, that was probably it. They're like, oh, there's that burnout again.
No, they were trying to get a job because they even said good. All that said.
It's a shame that cops don't get paid better.
That is fine with me. Poke fun at me, make fun of me all you want to. But I can tell you this, one day, all of y'all are going to understand who our Father Creator is.
It has nothing to do with any of this.
Because you're not going to have a choice. You're not going to have a choice.
Look, old man.
You're going to stand before Him one day and answer for what you have done.
Yeah, threats aren't going to really be
I'm
too...
not threatening.
So, there's a level of respect that you give another man or a woman when they are older than you, right? It's just common courtesy. It's not one of the 10 commandments or the 666 mitzvahs. Okay. It's just being a good person, right? You don't Michael just I don't even want to call him that. Whatever his name is, constantly proves over and over again that he is a disgusting character. To be mocking Jerry for his teeth, now his age, calling him an old man, when Jerry is simply stating something, whether you believe in Christianity and in the scriptures and the Bible and the extra canonical books, that's on you, right? But when you're talking about just being a decent person, these types of morals and these types of ways that we characterize ourselves, the way we carry our words, the way we treat others, that's really being scored. So if somebody asks you to repent, that should be a common thing. You should be constantly trying to renew your heart, trying to be a better person, trying to learn more each and every day. That literally is what we are doing as a spiritual soul evolving through time. And I thought it was just disgusting, all the things he said about me, about YD, and now Jerry. So just because someone's older than you, you shouldn't cut them down, right? They have had to be here and deal with life for a lot longer than you. And we should at least have that much respect, right? So please carry on.
Yeah, once we get through this right here, I've got a ChatGPT breakdown of the ad hominem attacks used by this McLooney-Tune, and it's a terrible list. He should be shamed completely for eternity.
Crazy. No, I'm just telling you.
That comes across as
going to happen.
Do you not know that comes across as a threat? Do you?
A threat? Jerry handles this perfectly right here. This is great.
Know how that's not impressive to people.
Why do you think that's a threat?
Because
I'm not threatening you. Unless you're a demon.
It sounds like a threat to people.
Are you a demon?
No.
If you're a demon, that might be threatening because you're going to stand before our Father Creator one day.
Yeah.
Every one of us are. Every actual soul. Now, all of those Nephilim and...
So the repent that Jerry called for here, the fact that McToon took offense to it and found it threatening, the way Jerry was able to point out only a demon would find that threatening, was fantastic. So let's go ahead and take a look at what ChatGPT had to say about this. And so after feeding it the transcript, I had it look for the ad hominem attacks. And so from this section right here, we have Jerry Two-Tooth Teeth mocking appearance repeatedly. If I give you a Zoom link, you won't know what to do with it. Mocking competence. Boomer his way onto it. Mocking age or tech ability. ID10T problem. Calling Jerry an idiot in code. Old man Yamaha. Mocking nickname. All flat earthers are incompetent at debating blanket ad hominem. They enter the debate automatically with an L on their forehead. Insulting intelligence. Competence. How can he be that dumb? Direct insult. Every week, you dummy. Direct insult. Jerry doesn't use Netscape. He uses NCSA Mosaic, mocking his competence and age. He could ask his carrier, the nice young people in the asylum, mocking mental competence. And then later here we have, I've already debated Jason. It didn't go well for him. Dismissive personal jab. Jason looks like I was right, framing as loser again and mocking Jason, Ronnie, you're just disgusting liars, useless, worthless humans. Several stacked on ad hominem attacks. Jerry embarrassing your Papa Flurfs, Limitless, and Awake Souls, mocking group identity, belittling. So this is the character that we are up against that we're going to be debating September 30th.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the debate will be strictly about the 12 experiments that Will Duffy created on the Final Experiments YouTube channel.
All right. So let's go ahead and go through the emails and the debate.
I think we'll take a song break first. How about that? Have a break.
All right. Let's do that.
It feels like
We are back. We got some emails up on the stream. So there was a big gap here where we had talked to these guys about getting something set up, and then there was a big gap. So it went from August 30th to September 18th. A day ago, I reached out and tried to get something lined up here. So Emily Vernon is like the booking agent for these guys. These guys roll with booking agents, and we don't have anything like that. We do our own bookings. So I reached out and said, we are available to begin the debate series starting September 21st, but it's clear that date is not ideal given that it coincides with major public events. Example, Charlie Kirk's funeral. We want the debate to have full visibility, not be buried in the news cycle. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to make a pause. I was waiting until you were finished. So let's take a look at this a little closer. We're hoping to reach as many people as possible with this upcoming debate. It's very important. Will Duffy of the Final Experiment put over a year and a half or maybe longer of his life into a project where he was supposedly defeating the idea that we live on a flat plane. And he put out 12 proofs, 12 observations, 12 experiments, he calls them, to prove so. And what we are going to do is tear them down one by one. And we're going to do it live, and then they're going to have their opportunity to rebuttal and say, no, this is actually what we're seeing, and this is why. So it's going to be really exciting. And the long break, just to touch on that, it doesn't seem like they're too excited to actually debate against us. Craig was looking for a ways out. He was trying to get out.
Yeah, so the way we began this, because, I mean, it just turns out we had mentioned we were first available September 21st, but that was before the Charlie Kirk thing. And we think that is what they're calling like a major watershed moment or a turning point. And so we want to be able to have our eyes on what's taking place. We think that there's a possibility that there could be something even bigger than the Charlie Kirk shooting at his funeral.
Yeah,
So,
we're going to be watching. And plus, we know that a lot of people are going to be distracted by that. So the time slot just doesn't work. But we only gave the 21st as a starting point as to at the 21st, let's go moving forward. Let's work out a time. We understand there's 5 characters here, right? 2 on each side participating, two space ballers, 2 virtual reality people, and a moderator. And we need to get everybody onto the same page. So you are patiently working through this, and let's get back into it. I'll stop ranting.
yeah, that's right. So our preference was Friday evening, beginning September 26th at 8 p.m. Central. So we like Friday nights at 8 p.m. Central. That's what we went live tonight, we think. That going into the weekend, it's the most flexible for most people, that it gives you the whole weekend to absorb the content before you go back to the grind Monday. So I said, you've already accepted our debate conditions, and the only remaining task is to secure a time slot so that the public can hold us all accountable. And so please reply with confirmation of which Friday 8 p.m. slot or nearest alternative you can commit to, so that we can make the announcement publicly. And where did that go? So after that, right away, Craig from Fight the Fat Earth says, the funeral of Charlie Kirk is irrelevant to the debate I've organized for the 21st. I am away seeing my ill mum after that. And my response to that was, the issue isn't whether Charlie Kirk's funeral is relevant to the debate topic. It's that it will completely dominate attention this Sunday, and neither side benefits from being buried under the media wave. You've accused me before of avoiding debate. This is the opposite. I want maximum visibility so the public can see the arguments in full. To solve this, I see 2 workable paths. Sunday, September 21st at 9 a.m. So the Charlie Kirk coverage, I think, is supposed to begin at 11 a.m. I said, let's do it 9 a.m. And this would allow us to hold the debate and wrap up before the funeral coverage begins. If that doesn't work, then let's shift our preferred to our preferred Friday, 8 p.m. Central slot.
So you had
starting-
offered the morning of the equinox, right?
Yeah, at 9 a.m. And so there's a interesting aspect to it. And he says, no, it won't dominate. I've arranged for this to be on the 21st like you wanted. Let's stick to that. And then he says, and it should be 8 p.m. Central Time. I'm UK, so be respectful of that. So let's talk about this. I asked for a 9 a.m. on September 21st, which would make that like 3 p.m. UK time. And when he makes it 8 p.m. Central, do you know what that makes it? There's a 6-hour difference between us. It's like 2 a.m. All right. So to be respectful of him, he wants a 2 a.m. slot, not a 3 p.m. slot.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. And so, Craig, I understand you're in the UK and I respect that, but you also need to respect our side. An 8 p.m. Central Sunday slot pushes this into a late night debate for us before a workday, which is unreasonable. That's why we proposed a 9 a.m. Central on September 21st. For you, that's 3 p.m. in London. Still on your weekend, mid-afternoon, and it avoids putting either side at a disadvantage. It also ensures the debate isn't competing with funeral coverage later that day. Or if you're not unwilling. And so then he says, make it so it's a 10 p.m. UK time. That's suitable for us all. And I had to respond to be absolutely clear. 4 p.m. Central on September 21st is not acceptable for either Ron or myself. That slot will be right in the middle of live coverage of the Charlie Kirk funeral, one of the most pivotal and polarizing events in modern times. We've said openly that we intend to cover that event because of its historical weight. It takes priority over a debate that could have taken place anytime in the last 6 years. That means for Sunday, September 21st, the entire window from 11 a.m. Central through 10 p.m. Central is blocked. We will not debate during that time frame. And then going back to the other options. And then all of a sudden we hear from McToon for the very first time.
Oh, wow.
He said, I spoke for the very first time. I spoke with Craig. Friday through Sunday is generally when I'm busy with family events. I coach ultimate frisbee and other things on the weekends. Craig will be visiting his mom during the week of September 22nd. We propose Tuesday, September 30th at 6 p.m. Central Time. This works for both Craig and myself. Craig and McToon, thank you for clarifying your availability. Tuesday, September 30th, 6 p.m. Central works for us as well. We accept this time slot. So the next step is moderator confirmation. As agreed, the moderator is to be chosen by your side. Their role is strictly time enforcement and rule enforcement. Any expression of bias or failure to uphold the rules results in a forfeit for Team Spaceballs, since the moderator is their selection. So we are asking for a name of a moderator before Friday, September 26th. And then what we're going to do is provide that moderator with this document, which is the moderator guidelines, the SBVR versus Spaceball debate series. So the rules are very simple. The event is the SBVR model versus spinning spaceball debate series. The time and date, Tuesday, September 30th, 2025, 6 p.m. Central. That's the first debate.
First of three.
Yep. Moderator, name to be confirmed by Team Spaceballs. Role of the moderator. The moderator's role is strictly limited to time enforcement, ensuring all debaters receive their allotted time without interruption. Rule enforcement, immediately penalizing rule violations. The moderator is not permitted to express opinions on the debate topic, interrupt for commentary, sarcasm, or bias, alter the agreed upon structure or timing. The debate structure is opening statements. The moderator gets to introduce himself, whatever else he wants to say, give the rules. He gets 4 minutes to do so. Then there's 2 minutes per debater. That's another 8 minutes. So the opening statements is already 12 minutes. The debunk rebuttal rounds. There are 12 experiments in total. Each team presents a debunk for all 12 experiments or a rebuttal. Within each team, the 12 experiments are divided evenly, 6 experiments per debater. For each experiment, the debunker gets 5 minutes and the opponent's rebuttal is 5 minutes. So 10 minutes per experiment times 12 experiments, that's 120 minutes. Believe it or not, that's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Boy, how the time flies already, huh?
Well, and the moderator is going to need time in between the 120 to say what he has to say and everything like that. So it'll probably be more like 130, 35 minutes.
Yeah. So closing statements, if we give each person 3 minutes per debater, there's another 12. So at the root core, if everything went perfect and everything clicked to the second, it's already a 2 hour and 24 minute debate. That's the reason why we couldn't cover all the things that we wanted to cover in one debate. It's had to be broken up. So rule violations, the types of violations, interruptions or speaking over others, personal attacks, swearing or ad hominems, refusal to follow structure or time limits. The enforcement. The first violation equals immediate loss of the next rebuttal or presentation slot. 3 violations by any individual or team is forfeit of the debate. Accountability. Because the moderator is chosen by Team Spaceballs, any failure to enforce rules fairly or expression of bias will result in forfeit by Team Spaceballs.
Yeah, so let's just slow that down for 1 second. So the moderator is also subject to forfeiting the debate for his team. So he was chosen by them because it's on Jason's platform, and we encourage them to live stream it as well. Modern Day Debates can live stream it. Anyone can re-live stream this, okay? So the moderator himself has 3 strikes. If he doesn't enforce the rules, if he doesn't do his job within the correct parameters, he's done, they forfeit. As well as if anyone says an ad hominem, if they talk over another person while they're doing their presentation, they then forfeit their next 5-minute rebuttal or presentation. They just moves on to experiment observation number 3, number 4, number 5, like that. And it's going to be completely fair. So far, it's this is a correct way to do a debate, in my opinion, when it's maximizing fairness.
Equal time for all. And the ability to present what it is that you want to present without somebody using some sort of a technique, an ad hominem, the ability to turn a person's microphone down, not present correctly, all the different tricks that are used by these debate agents, right?
Ask you a subsection of the point you're making, and if you can't give the answer for the subsection of the point you're making, they then think that they've debunked your actual point. They have so many snaky ways, and none of these are going to be possible for either team to use.
Mm-hmm. So then the next section of this is going to be going into that conversation that I had with McToon's 6 years ago. Do you want to take a song break here and then do that until the end?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. And we are back with that conversation from 6 years ago. So I think he retitled this. He said, flat map from awake souls tested. Will it pass or be utterly destroyed? So this was not a debate. And now I'm going to go ahead and click play on this area. See that I immediately framed this from the beginning as not as a debate. Brother, I've got a whole bunch of timestamps. Stop me, jump in anytime you want, all right?
Yes.
So, just a little
might wanna
backstory for anybody
speed
that
it up, I
tunes
don't
into
know.
what's going on here.
I'm trying 1.5 here. I think we could do 1.75. You want to try it and then see if anybody complains that it's a little too fast?
There's a conversation that's been going on about the shape of this reality, and on Facebook, there's a group that you seem to be active in. Is that the official? What's the name of that group?
I'm in a couple. Let's see.
The one that we've had our back and forth
the
on.
official flat Earth and round Earth discussion, something like that. There it is.
Yeah. So you challenged me, right? And I found this extremely interesting because I've been out here for years, putting out this challenge to everyone in the entire world to debate the map, the model, to debate whether or not Earth is a spinning ball, if it's flat, if it's concave. That challenge has been out there, and I haven't heard, nobody has wanted to talk about this ever since Ronnie Harris of the Limitless channel and myself just sort of pummeled Sean Hufford and Red's rhetoric in a debate on the Non Sequitur show, because they didn't have a single response to 10 globe debunks. That was an actual debate where there was, a moderator, we had time frames, there was a format to it. So like what we're doing tonight, I know you have debate in the title. Yes, we're debating a topic, but it's not a true debate because it's not.
So there you clearly point out it's not a debate. You're having a heated conversation at best. And you can see here YD in the chat, hashtag Team Yahawashai. There's the Limitless channel. So you can see we were there, and then you can see other shills versus shills and other channels. That Tommy Grunwald is still a character active. You've been going back and forth dealing with SketchUp and how he tried to model the path of the sun, and it was the funniest thing ever. It was as far as you could possibly be to scale. He had the sun super local, circling above the sphere Earth that he made. So yeah, you pointed out clearly that this was a conversation.
Yeah, it's here.
Moderated under certain guidelines and rules and stuff like that. So this is just going to be more of a free for all. But I think we understand that we.
Yeah, so I knew it was just a free-for-all, and but I didn't know just how bad and dirty this guy was. I wasn't quite prepared for that. So let's jump ahead to 4:37.
Mentioned family friendly, that you have kids, that they might be watching, that you have a friend that might be watching. I'm going to do my best to reel it in, but I'm also going to take the time to point out the obvious flaws that I see with you, right? Your channel, your content, the reason why you're here. And so the first thing I want to ask is, how long have you been shilling for the globe Earth? Like when did your career start, and what are your credentials?
So by shilling, what do you mean exactly by shilling?
Well, you know what shilling is. It's your.
How can somebody like this not know what shilling is? And playing retarded doesn't look well if you're supposed to be some sort of smart debater.
Loser points, loss of points.
Yeah.
Promoting a viewpoint, a product, a vantage, you're astroturfing. Oftentimes people expect that a shill has to be paid, and in your case, you made it clear that you've already done your shout out to your patrons. But
that's an important point. He's doing this for a living. So when somebody pays you to do something, you are at their beck and call. And if they tell you, we don't want you to say that, or we want you to say this, that's what you got to do.
Yeah. When we're building a house and the client says, I don't want the door here, I want you to flip it and put the door here, we can't build it the other way. They'll say, we're not paying you for that. Right. So unfortunately, you can't try to do these similar scams. So you're just going to see constant scams the entire way through with unnamed anonymous characters.
Person wouldn't have to be paid. Like in the case of a secret society, let's say, a Freemason, a Jesuit, a Knights Templar, a Rosicrucian, somebody like that, they could have sworn a blood oath to Satan to uphold a certain viewpoint, withhold certain truths, and do this under the threat of death. And they wouldn't literally have to be paid to do so, right?
Sure.
Right.
Well, so how long have I done?
Sure.
So I have not gotten paid by anybody other than
Other than I've not gotten paid by anybody. Listen to this.
All right.
Well, so how long have I been? I have not gotten paid by anybody other than
your Patreons, right?
Patrons and some ads on YouTube, which isn't.
Other than my Patreons.
Right. It doesn't amount to much. So.
I know, but you're monetized. How long have you been a monetized channel with the sole purpose of fighting against Flat Earth?
Well, it's not my sole purpose, but I think it was late March when I hit the necessary number of hours of view time.
Hold on. Does he do other content? I haven't seen him do anything other than flat versus globe and, moon landing and things like that. I've never seen him doing anything else. Now, I don't know if I've seen all of his content though. So
yeah, well, he's got a channel that when you type at McToon, right, it doesn't highlight his name. It's some other name that gets highlighted, Conspiracy Tunes or Cats or whatever. So that, with the being paid and all that, very, very, very shilly. So I was trying to point out all the obvious flaws with this guy showing up on the scene, getting paid to be a supposed flat earth debunker.
In order to get paid for what you do, and
sure.
That is, you argue for a spinning globe Earth, correct?
I argue for what I believe is the truth. So,
okay. But my question to you is why would somebody need to pay to have reasons given to them why they're on a spinning globe Earth, and when the entire indoctrination system, like from the moment we go into public school and all the way through, that's what we're being given? Why does a channel need to exist? Like that you would pay extra? What is it that you're providing to your Patreons? What are your credentials to prove that the world's a spinning ball?
I do it for fun. That's a lot of it. It's a bit of a hobby.
Sure.
It's his hobby, even though he gets paid to do it, and it is his career and living. It's a hobby career. All right.
It's challenging and to do some science that I hadn't done for quite a few years and put together things like that. It's kind of fun. So that's the main reason. If I make more, then super. I can stop doing some of the other things I do to make money.
So I put out
full timer, huh?
a clause in order to sort of weed out having to talk to uneducated people. In my challenges, I've always asked for somebody to have like a master's degree. Do you have a master's?
No, I studied electrical engineering and computer science in school. So, if by the same token, do you have a master's degree?
Well, I'm proud that I don't. That's the indoctrination that I'm fighting against.
So I don't think we need.
So he doesn't have one, or he's a what did he like?
Not a master's. It sounds like he has a degree.
Oh,
and so not having a college degree is something I'm quite happy and content with, because that is a huge detriment to a person's intelligence, because now all of a sudden you've paid a whole bunch of money to be able to pass their tests and get certified by them. So universe is a word that was created by the Catholics. The Vatican made up that word. When they made up the word Catholic to apply to themselves, they said it came from universal, and then that was just supposed to be all inclusive, but then it got applied to the cosmos, and so we have universities, universal. Everything that comes with the word universe is Catholic indoctrination. And so if you were able to avoid going to a university, you're a much smarter person today.
We have double standards here. We can be consistent on things, right?
Well, the entire whole science and academia thing, it really does revolve around credentials and the groups that a person's associated with, that type of thing. So I see in the back of your wall there, it says Earth-shaped field agent, while you have like a Masonic pillar with a globe on it. I've got to ask up front, are you a Freemason?
An illuminated globe.
Illuminated globe. So what I'm referring to is this sign on the wall here, and it says Earth-shaped field agent.
Yeah, it's a CIA logo.
Yeah, it's the type of crap that Mark and Patricia Steer, they would call themselves agents and hope your CIA cover is good and all that kind of stuff. And you got these guys, he's got the pillar here with the globe on top. I had to ask him. I didn't expect him to give me a straight answer, but
yeah.
Now we get the opportunity to see how he reacts to that.
Yeah. No, not at all. The let's see, where is it? Right there. That guy is a joke that some of us did back January through April, where.
So as a joke, if you go back to his very first live stream where you see him with his amethyst single stud in his left ear, that was from his very first podcast, and they were actually talking about this Earth-shaped field agent psyop that he says, he ran, he made it up. He faked it, and it was just part of this big joke. And that's literally how he got on the scene, with characters like Fight the Flat Earth present in the first live stream. Also characters like IPS were there in the very first live stream. Agents, dirty ones.
I don't know if you must not have seen it, but we wrote up a fake document because everybody was accusing people of buying subs and being paid by the government. So we had some fun. So that's what that is.
So the documents actually spell out what it costs to buy subs, what it costs to buy views, and how much you would get paid, and all that type of stuff. So I'm not sure that it was all fake. I think they spread it around, basically trying to get people involved in buying subs, buying views, and getting paid to be a New World Order shill.
Yeah, it had multiple different agendas tied into it. The Hydra, or the different tentacles of the octopus. That's what we have here with these characters, and it's obvious to see. So, Masonic pillar, illuminated globe, CIA logos, the guy. So we've all known that you can set up money laundering through Patreons and YouTube chats, and we've been arguing since they put YouTube super chats on that that is how they're supporting each other. They're loading each other up with credits that they get from their employers or whoever's running all this nonsense, or it's they're demonically possessed. It's one of the two, or maybe a combination of both.
Yep.
And then that pillar actually is just, it was a thing that I made for my wife to put candles on at the table, and then I issued a challenge.
He made this to put candles on at the table. Then he issued the challenge. Listen to this bad made up explanation on the spot.
Because I won Flat Out Heroes $100,000 challenge, so I gave him a counter challenge for 10,000 of my winnings to use one of 3 different sets of maps to create put together of the United States and have it be flat, and versus have it not lay flat. If it didn't lay flat, then he didn't win. If it did lay flat, then he win. But or anybody who wanted to take the challenge, nobody's taking me up on it yet. But so you get that pillar, and then on top of it would go that globe that you see there. Hold on, and oh my goodness, my kids took my frisbees. I have a frisbee that would go on top of it, and the winner would get that.
You put a frisbee on top, but obviously he didn't know anything, because we were very anti-frisbee already for 2 years. At this point, we had already debunked the AE map and model so many different ways.
The new trophy with the frisbee on it, and I put whatever flat map you'd want in there, I tape it in. So, just
all right. Well, map's going to be an interesting topic tonight. I see you've got maps up on the wall. You brought up maps. Let me ask you, what map of the globe is the most accurate?
Oh, well, I like Google Maps. It's pretty nice. That works
well. A paper one.
What paper map do I like?
Yeah.
Oh, the 7.5 minute USGS maps are nice.
Oh.
All right.
Let's go ahead and show people what a 7.5 minute USGS map looks like. And that are these. Have you ever seen these map books where you'd flip the page and you get to see section by section through a grid on this type of scale?
Absolutely. And you follow the legend in the back of the book to get to the different addresses and places that you want to go. Now, these ones also have the topographical layouts of the land as well. And funny enough, it is a pretty accurate representation of reality. And, there's no curvature on the map. It sits flat on the table, right?
Yeah. So a 7.5 minute, we're talking about minutes of, on the coordinate system. So when you convert that ends up being about 8.5 miles from the north to the south on a map like this. And that is the scale that you have to get to in order to not have all the distortion that you would have if this was a broader view. Right? Yep. As soon as you expand it further than that, now all of a sudden things don't lay out in a perfect grid anymore.
In Canada, many of these types of map systems you can find, but you just have to flip the page to the next, 8-mile section of the map, and you can continue to plot your course using these types of maps. It's good that he brought that up. This is a good observation, and a map that's probably mapped out, created with surveyors, as well as also photographs traced by heavy detailed photographers and cartographers, and it's good. I like it.
Yeah, no, he picked a good map, but this doesn't show the whole world now, does it? No, it doesn't.
No.
You understand that they scale things to infinity at the poles, correct?
Those are only of the U.S., but the similar maps do not scale things to infinity at the poles. They're not Mercator style.
All right, you wanna show that? I'm curious what map it is that you use of the globe.
So I don't. The 7.5 USGS are only of the U.S., right?
We just showed that it's only of a 8.5 mile north to south section. That you didn't see the whole U.S. there, not even close.
I think he was saying that only the U.S. is mapped out like that.
Okay, I got you.
World.
Let me see here.
So this whole section, I'm going to start skipping here.
Oh yeah, I don't need to look on
because he can't
He's stumbling
from when I was doing that challenge. So you can see over my shoulder that challenge was the from Flat Out Heroes challenge that I won.
Stumbling, bubbling. Here, skip.
But my computer
skip.
What do you do for a living while you're working on pulling that up?
I write.
So I asked him what he does for a living, and he's going to say.
So what do you do for a living while you're working on pulling that up?
I write anti-spam software.
Anti-spam software is what he says.
Okay.
We're still waiting.
I'm just looking for one map where you can see the entire Earth.
Oh,
and this is sped up, right? Wow.
1.75.
Yeah,
it's about 4.5 minutes.
So slow. So
there is no one map that is of the entire Earth.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, not an accurate one, of course, because the Earth starts with a sphere. And then,
well,
no.
I guess we can save some time. Have you ever heard of a stereographic map? And do you understand how like with the intuition of a child, if you were trying to make a flat map of a sphere, right, it would be stereographic, right? That's obvious.
Maybe you need to explain that a little better.
So this genius debate guy has no idea what a two-pole map is.
Yeah, well, and you set this up by prefacing in the beginning that this stuff can be understood by like children. It's super simple. Like a kindergartner, a 5-year-old intellect should be able to understand that to make a sphere map, you have to create 2 poles on a flat plane, right? And someone that supposedly has all these gotchas ready to go to debunk a stereographic projection, you'd think he would have a little bit of research done into what's actually being mapped, how it's being mapped, how the coordinate systems are projected into flat and spherical geometries, right? But he does none of the such, and he acts stupid again multiple times. That's another loss of point in your conversation that he said he destroyed you in a debate. He's done nothing of the such. It's quite comical. It's quite comical, actually. It's a joke. It's ridiculous.
Do you know what stereographic means?
Go ahead for the audience too.
Well, stereo too. It's got 2 polar points.
Yes.
2 polar points.
He agrees.
He says yes.
And that's what Earth has. There's 2 polar points. So any map that's representing Earth is going to have 2 polar points.
2 poles.
So I asked you, what map do you use of Earth? And I don't know. You're rather new. I don't know how long you've been around. Have you ever heard of Charles of Flat Earth Math?
Flat Earth Math? Yeah, I've interacted. Yeah, I've interacted with him a few times.
Okay, so he's been on our Hangouts, Ronnie Harris of the Limitless channel, and myself, and we've gotten him into a conversation like this. And when it comes to the map, he 100% admitted that the map that we're using is the most accurate flat map of this world possible. He said he believes that he's on a spinning globe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to represent it on a flat map, the stereographic map that we're using is considered to be the best by the smartest cartographers in the world. It's been around for a long time too. It's been around since 1894.
Okay.
So
okay,
I catch all this flack from heliocentrists, but it's obvious to anybody that's got a working intellect that the map that we're presenting is the most correct representation of Earth, because it's either curved, right? We're either on a curved ball spinning, or it's flat. It's pretty obvious that it's not concave. If Earth is flat, which all argumentation, all experimentation has proven that it is, then it's the correct map. So,
well, so I'd be asking them to see your evidence.
Wait, hold on. If it's a sphere, it's also the correct map.
Yeah. Yeah. You would have to be a foolish globe earther to go with any other map than a stereographic one, because Earth has 2 poles, right?
Yeah, everything would be, unrecognizable. They have to, turn it into cylindrical type projections, butterflies. There's so many different ways that, like, cartography is a great hobby to study how they've mapped the Earth and what kind of maps and projections they use. But he's just playing stupid to accurately represent a geometrical shape as a sphere in a 2-dimensional reality. You must have two polar points. And what they do is the southern or northern polar point is usually split. And then you can center the map anywhere you want. It's really basic stuff. Again, Jason was talking, it shouldn't take that much of a little bit of a research into these topics and you'd fully be able to grasp this. But yet we have this genius, the smartest man who's being paid here to prove that you live on a sphere. He doesn't understand it. He's playing dumb. Like, has he never used a modeling program? Has he ever wrapped an image or texture to a spherical surface? Has he mapped anything to any surfaces?
Doesn't appear that way.
How can he be
Let me do a screen share.
representative of the geometric shape of our reality when he doesn't work with geometry? It seems ridiculous. What site surveying has he done? Can he point us to some landscaping projects like we've done where he's able to cite and show us how he's able to work with the Earth and it proves that it's a sphere? There's a lot of
so I'm just gonna go
nonsense going on,
so
right?
Switch to here.
There you go.
Yeah, this is the...
All right, so this is World Maps Online. And it says about this stunningly detailed satellite image, map of the world, detailed land cover data depicted in the oblique Mercator.
So let me, instead of just playing this right here, point out that this right here is the oblique Mercator that we've been using. And we had to change the orientation because we had already seen the C.S. Pierce 1894, which had this split with the perimeter being the international date line and the prime meridian being centered. So we took this because it was a modern image and set it the way the C.S. Pierce 1894 was, and that's all we had to go by. So when we searched back, this was 2017, for stereographic images, there was nothing to be found. It was so hard, and we had to assemble together just one single view with a stereographic projection, and that's all we had for a very long time, up until maybe about a year ago. So we'll be getting to that in a little bit.
Projection. The parameters of this map projection have been carefully chosen so that the inevitable distortion that occurs is relegated to the world that exists. Stylish map that we've been sharing with people. Now what we've done is taken it out of its stylistic, artistic expression, and we've lined it up with the borders being the timeline, the international date line, and then the center line being the prime meridian. All right, so this is a stereographic map. You can, I'll show you a couple images here. All right, this is what we started with right here. This is the first thing that we found. It's the oblique Mercator projection, cylindrical conformal C.S. Pierce.
All right, so this is a stereographic projection. It has two poles, a north pole and a south pole. The south pole is split on either side. And we didn't know it at the time, but this was just centered to France. And we weren't able to move it around. All we had was this to go by, right?
Yeah, it's been a learning process. We've been studying and learning and just, doing as much as we could. And we understood that to represent a reality that could be both argued for as flat and spherical, you have to have a stereographic projection.
1894. And you can see Africa looks a bit distorted in this, right? It's a little bulged out on the bottom, but this was done in 1894. Wouldn't you agree that even in 1894 compared to like the most modern?
So we didn't understand that these bulges where things were being inflated like in Alaska and eastern Russia and the tip of Africa here, that we needed to be able to center to those locations to actually see them to true scale. We didn't know or understand that yet.
Technologically accurate maps, that this was pretty close. It wasn't that far off. So then if we go back to that's not the one, the more modern version here, you can see that all the land masses are as we expect to see on a globe, except that there is an inflation up here.
So the areas that are absolutely perfect here is this area right around France, because that's what this projection right here is centered to. I'll wait and then I'll show our stereographic anywhere map a little bit later.
In the Alaska and Irkutsk area of Russia, in that area, where they've sort of reined back in Africa, the bulge is up here near the top. Now, the interesting thing about this map is it actually has two polar rotations, a north.
Let's go ahead, because this is a little outdated information. Let's go to Well, I want to point this out at 21 here.
I even got put into their mockumentary. Do you know that?
Which one?
The Behind the Curve. They actually, I got into that mockumentary. So it's interesting. What I noticed about you is that your entire, I looked at your Facebook here, and I looked at the friends that you have, and your entire crew is the people that I've been smashing. You're like,
so if you scroll through here, you'll see that everybody that he was friends with was all the fake flat earthers and the globe earth shills. All of them.
You're friends with more of the fake flat earthers. You have one of the largest. You're friends with Bob Nodell. You're friends with.
I mostly accept any friend request sent, and I will send a friend request to anybody that looks like a flat earther or anybody that I recognize as a non-flat earther. So that Facebook page is just for my YouTube channel.
Sounds awfully
It's not my real one.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, you're solely dedicated to shilling for the heliocentric model. But this is the interesting thing. You're friends with all these fake flat earthers. Right, and the Steve McRae's and like the people that we've called out as the Satanists.
Yeah. So, Art, can you get back to like presenting evidence that your map is accurate though, instead of trying to just question my Facebook page?
He doesn't like
Well,
that.
no, care all that much, but, you know, I think people are going to get bored.
I'm not going to get bored. This is what I wanted to talk to you about.
He brought up getting bored. That was his way of trying to shut this conversation down.
He's bored, yeah, when you start exposing his networks that he's profiting off of here on Facebook.
I take that boredom shut down and use it at the end. I mean, Jay Tolan, all these like super shills.
Had everybody destroy their cameras, ruin their
It's
cameras,
so weird to
turn
me
them
that
into black and
somebody
white.
wanted to actually stand up and have a debate about this. And then I looked at who you are, and I find that the most interesting part of this is the network of people that you work around, because the point that I'm trying to make is that there's all these shills and networks of satanic clowns, and that you seem to be at what might be the top of one of these
trying to
satanic.
Well, here he is. It's coming down to him and Fight the Fat Earth, the two that were together when he began,
There's
and
more.
they are the top remaining heliocentric spaceball shills right now.
Well,
I think
behind Simon Dan and Professor Dave. Sorry, they do.
Yeah, but those guys can't actually debate anything.
MC Toon actually was, you know, he went in the mockumentary, right? So he's above Fight for the Fat Earth. He's above him. But he's definitely not above Jeranism and Simon Dan and Dave McKeegan. They get much more views and money than this guy's just like a useful idiot.
Top,
like,
man. Yes.
Yeah, look at the people that you keep company with.
I don't keep company with those people. I do it so that I can find somebody to debate every Tuesday, because it's a rare breed to find a flat earther that's willing to stand up for their faith in the flat earth. So that's what I'm doing it for.
But these are all the fake ones.
That's your opinion. I think all of you are fake. So I don't care. How do you tell the fake from the not fake? All.
We debunked that single pole pressurized pizza dome already a couple years ago.
It's literally the filter, the gate that tells us whether you're fake or real. It's that easy, simple.
Flat earthers are fake. They're all making a claim about the stuff. So you're all the same to me.
Oh, we can take it down to whether or not we're on a spinning ball, or whether or not we're on a fixed and immovable Earth, and it boils down to two basic points that are the ones that were covered in Behind the Curve. Right? We either have curvature, there's no curvature, and we're either spinning or not spinning. Those are the two main things. So the proof of burden is on the person that supposes something. So if you are supposing the Earth is rotating, the thing that you have to give is proof of that rotation. Now, we know
are you supposing the Earth is stationary?
Fixed and immovable.
Yeah, all right. So the proof is on you as well, right? Both of us have a claim.
Yeah. So one is it's the sky that's moving. The other is that it's the Earth that's moving.
Yes.
And in your proof that it's the Earth moving.
My claim is that the Earth is moving. Absolutely.
And where is your
What's
evidence?
your proof?
Because I've been at this a long time,
So
and I know
you brought up Behind the Curve. I don't usually bring it up, but you know, in there they did.
So he's going to Behind the Curve for the proof of rotation. Listen to this.
They did talk about that.
Yeah, because the cited reference from all globe earthers is that Bob Nodell is the proof of rotation. Right.
No,
so
he's
this is what we've been pointing. This is what we've been pointing out. Yeah, the DSP 1760. That the only proofs that the globe earthers have for rotation is Bob Nodell, and the only proof of curvature is Jeranism from the Behind the Curve mockumentary. And so we already knew that Bob Nodell rotated his DSP 1760 on a lunch tray. and that was the rotation. So, I mean, we knew what a joke this was already.
Now, the reason why I don't bring it up is because he's not the proof of rotation. He just did what every airplane pilot does every time they turn on the plane, right?
Every time an airplane pilot turns on the plane, the gyro spins up and it stays in a fixed position. And then when the plane moves around, the artificial horizon shows you the pitch variation from that fixed position. So if we were on a spinning ball, everybody would have a spinning gyro on their desktop, and you would watch it change. In 12 hours, you would see it upside down. In another 12 hours, you would see it right side up everywhere on Earth. And then you wouldn't be able to use such a device for being able to keep a fixed position like an airplane needs to, right?
That's right. The idea that it holds its rigid location in space is what we're able to use to navigate through space. So to claim that the Earth itself is the variable that's moving would actually nullify and take away the idea that the gyroscope would actually be what tools that we actually use to navigate throughout the realm. It's pretty funny, and what they actually have is if you get it knocked out of way or place, they have things like pendulous vanes and mercury erectors. They have these things that all of a sudden find where weight is, right? They follow downwards motion, a vector down, and also showing again that there is an absolute up and down, and that also is proof of a flat stationary plane, right?
The optical gyroscope measures the rotation of the Earth so they can correctly get the latitude of the plane.
Optical
So have you ever watched this
gyroscope.
where Ronnie Harris and myself smashed
He's gonna bring up
John
LIGO.
Hufford and Red's Rhetoric in a debate on the Non Sequitur show?
Oh, I certainly did, yeah. That
Oh, you
was
did?
that wasn't a smashing, but
Oh, he saw it.
on your part, but it was a
It
good
was.
when I watched that, yeah.
So the 8 inches per mile squared, the curvature.
I reject that math.
He rejects
That's
8
smart.
inches per mile squared.
Smart.
Yeah, because we pointed out recently that it's not 8 inches per mile squared. It's actually 16.6 feet of curvature in the first 25 miles, geometrically speaking, and that the 8 inches per mile squared formula is only accurate from about 25 miles to 100 miles, and then it's not accurate again. We've actually showed the window where that formula works and where it doesn't work.
Yeah, nobody's replicated it to verify or deny your claim, right? Everybody's afraid to do it, I guess.
Well, what's your formula?
I'll pull it up for you. 8 inches per mile squared isn't necessarily too bad. It's how it's applied. So I will pull up the correct one because that doesn't
It's
tell you
bad.
anything about what should be hidden.
It's really bad.
Way
It
off.
tells you-
You do
Especially in
understand
the
that 8
first
inches per mile
25
squared
miles.
falls way short of what's necessary. It's a super under calculation, correct?
I completely disagree.
He completely disagrees. So at this point, all you have to do is do the formula 8 inches per mile squared and do it for 3959 miles. And you're going to find out that the formula comes up way short of giving
Doesn't
you an
work.
answer of 3959 miles.
Broken.
It's a super under calculation. Have you ever taken 3,959, multiplied it?
All right, so here
You know,
is
squared.
the correct way to calculate what should be hidden. And I'll put this in the chat.
What should
So
be
here
hidden?
he's going straight sagitta bulge curve, which was our last podcast, and we showed that it doesn't work. You actually would have to have a ship going up and down in your circle of sight. We don't have that. The other option would be to just have it just going straight down and away from you. We don't have
falling
that.
away, right? There would be no debate, right? He constantly asks, what would you believe if you saw it? Well, yeah, this. If there was
Yeah.
curvature, if the boats went up a sagittale and then down and away, angling, it would be undeniable that we live on a sphere.
Mhm.
For everybody there. This is one. There's a couple other. They use the same formula. This one has a nice graphic, so it's visually easy to see. And the predicted amount hidden is the bulge in the middle, the line GP.
There never would be a bulge ever, you understand, correct?
If the Earth is a sphere and you have two objects, the observer and the thing that you're observing.
Look at this green line.
So there's a huge bulge in his reality he's fighting for here.
That's his eye level, and he's actually demonstrating and showing that everything beyond the bulge would be tipped away.
Leaning away drastically.
Exactly.
Observing, there is a bulge between them.
Yeah, that's only from a side-on orthographic view.
Yes, of course. But
That's-
and when you're looking
it's-
straight forward,
So never let somebody try to give you this side-on view like this, because you're never going to see that in reality. That we only see from perspective. We can't see orthographically.
That
It's
there will be
imaginary.
something obscuring you as well, obscuring your vision.
But it's imaginary. Wherever your horizon's cut off, right? That would just be where it's cut off. There's no bulge. You're never gonna. There's no side-on orthographic view ever. It's completely imaginary, hypothetical.
Yeah. So
non-reality.
this is how we can calculate how much should be obscured.
Yeah, if we were on a curve. So my big question to you is since you're saying that this is the formula that's taking place everywhere on Earth, where can I go out with a theodolite and measure this? All right. So I grew up a cement mason. I know how to work a transit, theodolite. I can put a 1/4 inch pitch on anything. I can do a slab that's a mile long, 10 miles long, 10,000 miles long.
Yeah.
I know how to read level.
Well, yeah, so as you go up in elevation, right? What do you think happens?
You can see farther to the distance.
Yeah,
the
but
horizon.
what does the horizon do as you go up in elevation?
He thinks he's got me here. What does the horizon do when you go up in elevation?
Descends.
The horizon goes down.
Oh.
Horizon.
What does the horizon do as you go up in elevation?
It descends.
The horizon goes down as you rise, or does it stay at eye level?
No, it descends. I've already explained all this. Have you ever watched my videos?
No.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, I've already explained.
He's never watched the videos. Yeah, so this was after the Mall Angel video was put out already. And we already knew after debating Reds and Sean Hufford that the horizon doesn't always rise to high level, that as you go up in elevation, there will be a little bit of descent. And we actually showed in the Mall Angel video why. And then our recent podcast, we showed it again, that it has to do with angular resolution and that, yeah, it will not always rise to eye level. So he thought he had a gotcha. I was able to flip it back on him.
Explain how that works. It descends.
Okay, well, I haven't watched your video, so you'll have to.
Yeah, you want to do the screen share with me, or I'm still
Just like Will, right?
Never seen
Same.
it.
This is
Same lies.
the number
Will.
one video on my channel right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
A simulation.
So I bring,
No.
bring up the Mall Angel
Technically.
video, and I
this might
show
just play
this
for a couple
whole
minutes.
section here of demonstrating how through the use of resolution that you will have, as you go up in height,
On a flat plane.
On a flat plane, and we just did this in a recent podcast.
That was the only point Sean and Reds made in the whole entire debate against us, is that the horizon doesn't actually stay perfectly in the center of your vision as you rise in altitude. And we looked at it and we understand exactly why. And we show through modeling that these are actually things that would only happen on a flat stationary plane.
So after showing him this section of video, I think this is where he's about to interrupt.
And the screen share sound is horrid.
Well, that's because, yeah, I wasn't able to get internal sound. I had to play it through my microphone.
Is this targeted at flat earthers?
Oh, is this targeted at flat earthers? This
What?
was his interruption, yeah.
No, it's just truth. Just truth.
But is this your attempt to debunk flat earthers saying that the horizon always rises to eye level?
Yeah, because they're wrong.
But I don't care about them. I'm not a flat earther.
He doesn't care about them. I'm showing the reason why the horizon doesn't always rise to eye level, and he doesn't want to hear it.
No, of course not. That's his gotcha.
You don't need to bring up some flat earth
He cut me off right there. Says, I don't want to hear
debunk to
about
try
it.
to debunk the other flat earthers. I don't give a damn. They can go away.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's,
You're not making a point that
You
I
were
care
just debunked.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, but
too
would you
stupid to
say
even
that
get
it's
it.
a ship going over the curve, or would you say that it's the distance that we can see to the horizon makes things appear like the horizon drops and stuff like that? See, this whole video.
Not at all. You've made claims and you've done some animations in a computer, but where's the actual physical evidence, the physical laws?
You were literally
So-
showing footage that you took from your drone.
Yeah, I did that. There's 3D modeling, and yeah, the whole gamut of all that.
Look at how small he's got it on the screen too. He doesn't want anyone to actually see how it's working here.
Mm-hmm.
The things that we can see other than an ad hoc explaining something that is inconvenient.
There was no ad
Where's
hoc
the-
theory whatsoever. That was a completely like, I need a sign that says misuse fallacy. Right? There was no ad hoc. That's what the sphere Earth has to do when trying to understand things like no mountain has ever pulled a smaller stone closer to it. Right? All the waters, all the oceans, all the lakes are magically somehow stuck to a sphere Earth spinning through outer space, yet butterflies can gently flutter up and down through the atmosphere close to the ground. These are ad hoc theories. You come up with gravity and black holes. What Jason showed is a flat plane stationary, an observer rising in altitude, and a slight drop, right, to the distance to the vanishing point on the horizon due to the fact that you have a greater field of view, which causes you to have a lower angular resolution to the actual horizon that you can actually witness, right? And this is provable. This is exactly why there's no globe Earth. There's no one has any evidence of anything other than what you can get with like a simple balloon, right? That's it. You can't, and there's some good high altitude footage that we can look at and we'll continue to go through. But Mike, anonymous guy, knows this. He knows this, and he just basically shut you down, and he didn't even at all attempt to understand how you were showing him that his point that he made, I destroyed you. His point was that we live on a sphere because when you rise in altitude, the horizon drops. Jason brought him into a modeling program with an infinite flat plane, raised in altitude, and showed how it matched perfectly to the footage he took from his drone. And all he does is say, I don't care about flat Earth debunks. He debunked you, MC Toon.
Yep.
The evidence for those things.
No, where's the evidence that a ship that's 3 miles away has already lost what we see disappearing with the actual camera, with the footage? Where's your evidence?
The evidence that the bottom of it is obscured as predicted on a globe. We see it all the time.
But it's not. Ships begin disappearing, like large chunks of them, massively.
So pause it. Again,
miles.
that's your Sagitta, which he brings up as proof of a sphere in his modeling program, shows a Sagitta, a bulge, where ships that were sailing out of our view, or anything, buildings, anything, as you fly away from it, as you drive away from it, the CN Tower would literally rise and then fall backwards as you take off from it. And trust me, I grew up filming and around the CN Tower, and I know all the vantage points that you can see it from 5, 10, and even up to 20 and 30 and 50 miles away. And I can guarantee that every single shot I've ever seen has had a perfectly plumb and perpendicular CN Tower, MC Toon. You need to understand this. When we talk about why we believe the Earth is a flat, stationary Earth, it's because Jason and I have gone out and observed. We've measured, we've taken observations, and we have the evidence to back what we say. It's not just flabbergasted flapping gums. We don't just pretend. We actually have observations for the things that we put forth to our audience. We actually take care and the fact that we are honest and truthful, and we've been corrected along the ways too. You know, Jason, I know we are rapidly approaching that time. How many more timestamps do you have? So far, I've only seen MC Toon be destroyed in this conversation. You called him out as a Freemason society, Jesuit, shill, Mason, whatever. You called him out for his illuminated Earth on a pillar with his CIA logo behind him. You've exposed that he's here because he's being paid from Patreons, right? The globe Earth needs him. He's like Batman. Here he is. You've destroyed everything. His only proof of the Earth being a sphere tonight was that the horizon dropped. You literally brought him into a 3D modeling program and showed him on a flat infinite plane when rising in elevation how the horizon drops due to your angular resolution to the vanishing point. Everything that we could go through. What more is there that you want to make sure that you highlight here tonight?
Well, the next thing I show them is how this happens on a local scale, like even within a mall. So
yeah,
let's just show that. We have maybe about 10 minutes left that I'd like to get through. And so here's the local
footage
level.
is all in this video here.
The bottom up. Yeah, they're obscured bottom up as predicted on the globe. So I don't know where you're getting at here. So if something is happening as predicted on the globe, what's your argument?
My argument is it happens on a flat floor within the length of a mall. The exact same thing. Right?
You didn't see that coming.
This model walks down a flat floor.
All right, and how did you qualify the flatness of that floor?
So right away it goes immediately to qualifying the flatness of the floor.
Yeah, again, go ahead.
So when you build a building, do you build it curved?
Absolutely not. No, you build it level, plumb, and square.
Yeah. So a Home Depot floor, a mall floor, all these things, they have tolerances. They're not built to a curve. And there's multiple ways of actually proving that there's no curve in this hallway. And so all he tries to do is discredit it by saying that we don't know if it's built to a curve. It's not
ridiculous.
Built to a curve.
It's ridiculous.
You can go qualify it yourself, but you have to prove.
You didn't.
You would actually have to get the blueprints for the construction of this mall to show me that it was built to a curve. because I'm a builder.
The blueprints
and we don't build buildings. We don't build buildings curved.
Yeah, but there's tolerances, right? So
yeah, and how much tolerance do you think that you
eighth
need
to a
build?
quarter inch, period.
Right?
Yeah. Maybe less.
You want to watch the walk?
I don't need to watch. You need to first
So-
establish the flatness of the wall quantitatively.
Finally,
Quantitatively?
I point out that the baseboard, you can see the baseboard from both views. This is the camera up at normal eye height. This is the camera down sitting on the floor. And yes, there is a baseboard there. You can still see it, but it's changed quite a bit. And you can see that even halfway down the mall, the feet of the mall angel starts disappearing more and more and more. She sinks into the floor, and you can see right here the result of what takes place.
I just said I'm not going to do the math right now.
Not going to do
So
that.
if the floor varied by, let's say, a quarter of an inch over the length of 1,000 feet, do you think that would create the effect that we're seeing here?
I don't know. I didn't do the math, and I'm not going to do it right now. But you haven't qualified that the floor is flat, so there's no evidence to show.
That's his big debunk, right? So I show the mall angel walking away.
See, that's a carpeted floor. It's not even like tiles.
so
You see these reflections?
Yeah, so we still see her feet.
Yeah.
Just wait.
still
She's
walking
only
away.
halfway.
They keep disappearing more and more and more until she gets to the far end. The bag keeps sinking into the floor farther and farther.
On a flat plane.
On a flat plane.
That's the
This
baseboard
is
back
what
there.
we observe, everybody. This is what we
nothing is
witnessed
being
when we
obstructed. We can
filmed.
see the baseboard. I don't understand what you're getting at here. If we can see the baseboard,
He doesn't get what we're going at.
then nothing was
Can't figure it
obstructed.
out.
Yeah, she's sinking into the floor from the bottom up, exactly the way we
Yeah, but
see
we
a
can still
boat
see
going
the-
off at the horizon.
We can still see the baseboard.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, if this mall was a little bit longer, it would be pixelated out and we wouldn't see it anymore, correct?
Absolutely.
He doesn't accept pixelation. Nothing. He thinks you can see trillions of light years.
Yeah, true.
You know what pixelation is?
Of course I do.
Okay.
It would get blurry though, not pixelated.
Blurry, not pixelated, no, because he thinks you can see forever. I just want to jump into his supposed debunks here. And I just want to let everybody know that this was the only stereographic projection that we had for many, many years.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize that you needed to be able to center this to an observer's location. So we looked for ways to support this because we knew Earth has two poles and we know it's a plane and we knew that it had to be stereographic. We just didn't understand that you had to be able to move it around. So his debunks have to do with, where is it? He wants to do a flight from Japan to California, and he creates this route around up here. And I can honestly say that I wasn't able to defend this properly when I met with Toon for this conversation. But I knew the Earth was still stereographic and a fixed and stationary plane.
Yeah, well, he misrepresented it, right, by not centering the map or projection onto the observer's location. It just inaccurately measures. It's not designed that way. You actually have to measure off the coordinates, right, off of the lines, longitudes and latitudes on the map, and you have to continually adjust it. So he took two different distorted areas and then tried to connect flight routes on them, which is a misrepresentation of the projection and what it's actually designed for.
All right. So the answer to all that is this, and this is the stereographic anywhere projection system. So let me show you this here. The mole weed is closest to a, let me resize this. This is closest to the actual projection of the coordinate system, which looks sort of like an onion. And this is not a globe. And the reason why it's not a globe is because it has all 24 time zones, or each grouping of like 15 degrees here, all on one face, right? So this is not a globe. Anybody that knows what a globe is, all right, knows that you would only be able to represent half, right? Because the other half would be on the other side. This is not a globe because this is a plane here that represents the whole face of Earth. So as we had before, we had a projection that looked like this. Let's go. right about there. That is basically what we were using for a long time because it's all we had. Right now we know that if you're in the Gulf of America, it's got to look like this in order to represent the correct lengths of the latitudes and the correct length of longitudes. Now you can't use this for the tip of South America here, right? Can't use it for Russia here. But if you're off the coast of Brazil right here, this is the orientation. So it's always got two poles, but it can only accurately draw an area that it's centered to. All right. Now, if you keep it sort of zeroed out like this, here you get something like a Mercator, and then what happens is if you go west like this, right? It's accurate to your longitude is what it's accurate to.
And you can never get to a boundary, right?
Can't get to a boundary. Wherever you go, right?
It's always centered on you.
Always centered on you. So we know that now. We understand that now.
Yeah, and you can't measure off of a fixed position of the stereographic map. Just like he's got on the back of his wall there, representations of, I believe it's been a long time, plane flights, that all you have to do is take out those the USGS maps and topographies, and you just align them and put them together, the small sections. That actually still shows it over a flat plane, right? There's no curvature in his apparent winnings when he had that competition that he came onto the scene with, being some hero champion, right?
Yeah, and the other major misrepresentation that he goes with is trying to treat the sun like it's a gas ball floating above this coordinate system right here. So he wants to say that, okay, the sun's traveling somewhere between the tropics or maybe along the equator here, and from this location the angles are going to be wrong because he's treating it like Pac-Man, waka 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 waka, that the sun travels from one side to the other, and comes in one side, goes out the other side. And we've said right from the get-go that is a misrepresentation of us being in a stereographic virtual reality, and that what anybody ever sees is the way the luminaries operate in a person's circle of sight. So when we take a look at the model that we've been using for like the last 7 or so years, you'll see that as you change latitude, right, it just tilts the path of the sun around the observer. And what this is representing is it's representing the luminaries, the sun, rising from a fixed and stationary plane, rotating equal distant around the observer, setting into that exact same plane in a person's circle of sight right here. All right, so this is what we're saying. That's the reason why if you go real far south, and we were able to make predictions for the path of the sun at the South Pole. All right, they were at what, 79 latitude south. All right. We're able to show that the sun would circle around an observer in their circle of sight right here. But once you get to like 60, I think it's 66.5 degrees. Once you go north of that, you literally have the sun rising and setting into a plane. And we've pointed out that every single model that shows the sun rising and setting from a plane like this, right? Sun calc rises from a plane, sets into a plane. Like this, rises from a plane, sets into a plane. That all these models are actually a representation of a virtual reality, because heliocentrists don't say that the sun rises from a plane and sets into a plane.
Correct.
All right, so I just wanted to get through those supposed debunks that McToon had of a stereographic projection. I wasn't able to defend them perfectly back then because, well, we didn't have this. Now that we have this, we can show everybody that the only way your position can be accurately represented is when you center to it, and when you do so, you can't get to an edge. So there is no more waka 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 or going across a border from one side to the other. It's not possible.
Except for the sun around you every single day that you'll ever live.
Yeah. Like this. Let's go to something that people might recognize in the north. Here is a typical path of the sun around the observer. And it's got all the shadow projections as well. So this is how it can be tested. You can put a stick in the ground, you can measure the shadow, and you can actually see whether or not this is the actual path. All right, well, that's about what I wanted to get through for that conversation that I had with McToon. I wanted to get on the record about that. It was not a defeat whatsoever. He didn't, whatever he crush or whatever he said about it. Destroy. We, I pointed out that he is part of a network. He is part of a group of paid cooperating shills with a narrative, and that they've only been doing a false dichotomy PSYOP against the AE map and model.
That's right. Straw man.
That's it.
False dichotomy straw man. Yeah, great presentation. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to the Goldsmith, obviously, as well, for the great music. And thank you to YD with the wrench. And this one, thank you to Jerry for joining on and, you know, on his own, doing his own thing. You know, Jerry does what Jerry does. He doesn't speak for us. We don't speak for him. Good job. And great presentation tonight, Jason. Thank you.
Yeah, well, where is the only place people are going to get this content, brother?
Only on the Yahawashai News Networks.
You can take your time now, no I don't mind. It's all about patience, I promise it's fine. You can take your time now, no I don't mind. It's all about patience, I promise it's fine. No, I don't mind. You can take your time now, no I don't mind. Patience, I promise it's fine. You can take your time now, no I don't know. It's all about patience, I promise it's fine. It's you. It's you. People in the back sipping on me. Lasers, angels, demons, and me. Sit back, baby, listen, just breathe. Things aren't typically what they seem. Talk bad about yourself, you should stop that. If you're showing love, nobody ever's gonna top that. Like the man had us sitting down in a top that. Ring the bell and leave your shoes or on the doormat. You can take your time now, no I don't mind. It's all about patience, I promise it's fine. You can take your time now, no I don't mind. It's all about patience, I promise it's fine. It's you. It's you. You can take your time now, no I don't mind. It's all about patience, I promise it's fine. You can take your time now, no I don't mind. It's all about patience, I promise it's fine. People in the back sipping on me. Lasers, angels, demons, and me. Sit back, baby, listen, just breathe. stop it. If you're showing love, nobody